to Select Health with me, Emanuela. I'm glad to have you here today. Today we are talking about a topic that is a little bit sensitive, and it's about our mental health. And on the journey of growing up into adulthood, we face so many challenges that could compromise our mental health, like we've discussed in the previous shows. Today in particular, we wanted to look at how a boy turns into a man, and possibly the struggles that they are facing compared to the past. In today's world, the struggles of a boy's journey into manhood and what it is that they face. So today with me, I have a counselor that I will request introduces herself. Welcome, Grace.
Thank you very much, Emanuela.
Yeah. Could you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay. I'm very glad to be here tonight. Good evening, viewers. My name is Grace Namale Wamala. I'm a counseling psychologist by profession. I'm a mother of 3 boys. I'm married. I'm a founder of Sooth Consult Limited, and an organization that deals with counseling, like she has introduced me. I'm glad to be here today once again.
Yeah. We're glad to have you here, Grace. And I'm very excited because, like I pointed out to the viewers, usually there's a lot of focus on the girl child, especially now. Little is talked about the boy child and their journey to manhood and the challenges they face, plus all the weight that they carry as men and how they've been groomed. So today, I know you specialize in this particular field of boys into men. So today we wanted to shine light on that, our boy child. So could you please take us through what it is that boys go through on their journey to manhood and how it could affect the whole mental health and social health as we know it?
Thank you, Emanuela. Probably I could start from what mental health is all about.
Yes.
Mental health includes our social, emotional, psychological well-being. It affects the way we think, the way we act, and the way we feel.
Yes.
It actually determines how we relate with others, how we basically how we are in life, our behaviors.
Yes.
Basically. So mental health is very crucial. Like you've mentioned, our boy child today has a lot of issues that they are growing up. Unfortunately, a lot of emphasis is put to women or
Yes.
girl child.
Yes.
A boy child, like a girl child, also goes through stages like adolescence as they're trying to turn into from boy to manhood.
Yes.
Oftentimes people are asking, oh, there's a saying, I don't know, there's a negative perception towards men these days.
Yes.
You hear people saying, men are this, men are bad, men are terrible, men are... And nobody has really taken trouble to, why are people saying this? And so many negative issues have been associated with men.
Yes.
Things like domestic violence, sexual assault, abuse. Men don't look after their families. They've actually thrown away their responsibilities as heads of the families.
Yes.
Things like, actually, they are involved so much also in suicide.
Yes.
Yeah, if you look at the World Health Organization report of 2018, it was talking about the high-income countries that male are 3 times more involved in suicide than the female
Yes.
counterparts. Actually, male who are also more involved in drug and substance abuse.
Yes.
Alcohol.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that could be because of the pressures that they have to be the heads or to live up to a certain standard. And also I know that men suppress their feelings. Usually they are not allowed, you're brought up saying a man shouldn't cry, a man should be strong. and they suppress that too much in that they cannot deal with the day-to-day depressing issues or stressful issues as women, because women are meant to, I mean, we're used to all the stresses, but the men don't know how to deal, probably because of the way they've been brought up.
I've gotten interested in this. You may ask, why are you interested in men? Being a mother of
Boys.
because I have 3 boys.
Wow.
I have my firstborn is 26 years.
Wow.
The second is 24 years, and the last one is 20 years.
Wow.
So I'm a mother of boys. I know what it takes to raise a boy. And I've always asked, when people come up with those negative perceptions about men, I'm always asking myself, but these boys are our children.
Yes.
We're the ones who give birth to the children. Then what is it that we're not doing right? So I have always tried to find out, where did we go wrong? Is it the way we raise boys? So I try to go further and try to ask myself, let me try to find out what really happened. And I've come to realize there are a number of issues that actually, a number of factors that could have not caused that.
Yeah. Okay.
Things like culture, things like raising, things like parenting. There are things like the puberty rights.
Yes.
There are things like even information given to the boys as compared to the girls. So if I'm to go to culture, traditionally, there's this feeling or this stereotype that men are meant to be strong.
Yes.
Men are supposed to be tough.
Can't cry.
Men don't cry. There's people usually tell their children, man up.
Yes.
Don't act like a girl.
Yes.
Style up, man. You're not supposed to be like that. That is not money. That is feminine. So, in doing so, it is like, men's faculties are actually suppressed.
Yes.
So they have this kind of feeling that if I don't act like a man, then I'm going to be ashamed. If I don't,
I'm a sissy or
exactly.
Yes.
I have to be masculine. So if I do not do that, what happens? The world is going to see me differently. So in doing so, you see that they are
cornered
emotionally. They are closed up. So what happens? Men can never speak out.
Yes.
They do not express their emotions just like women do or girls do.
And so that's why they're susceptible to depression.
Exactly.
And hence suicide even.
Exactly. So when somebody has this very big issue, I have nobody to talk to, because if I try discussing this with somebody, then I'll be a sissy.
Yes.
What happens? The thing, or whatever anger, whatever is suppressed, goes into the subconscious, then comes out
later.
One time.
It always
and when
does.
it comes out, we see anger in people.
Yes.
People involved in domestic violence.
Yes.
But anger is an underlying
monster,
thing of what is actually happening in somebody's mental health.
That is very true.
Yes. So we realize that culture plays a very, very important role in affecting the mental health of our children as we are raising them.
And that is a very crucial thing that you're saying, that because culturally, you notice even, I have to do a comparison. The Western world raises children late, they've always done so, or they have to be themselves. Do not suppress it. And I think that is why we see this, what we think is fluidity in sexual preferences and things like that, and then you're thinking these people have no culture. But yes, there's dangers in leaving someone to be themselves, but you cannot suppress someone's self for so long. It will eventually come out in one way or another, and sometimes it may not come out in a way that is good for society. That is the bitterness that you've talked about. Some of them even grow up to be, now they channel that anger into things like, they can grow up to be murderers and psychopaths.
Exactly.
So I think that is a very, very important role. I also want to bring in something else. Now that you're talking about parenting and raising a boy child, we noticed that lately there's so many single parent homes. I want to highlight a single mother raising a boy with no father figure. They may have uncles, but then this single mother does not involve them in bringing up this boy. Don't you think that in such a scenario, so much is being suppressed of his manhood as well? Because you know the relationship that opposites attract kind of thing. Mothers and boys are very close. They hold them dearly, just like fathers and their daughters.
Yeah.
So there are certain things as a mother. Yes, there are advantages because you may bring him up to do roles that men don't usually do. Where you find a man is an amazing cook. He likes to involve himself in housework, and it's because he has. And most people even say, this one must have been raised by a woman. But then you find that they lack on the other side, you know, what people brand as masculine duties, you know, Mr. Fix-It, you know, they're not as handsy, they're not as, you know. What do you have to say about that?
Thank you, Manuela. When you look at, as we started at the beginning of our conversation,
Yes.
we talked about men.
Yes.
Who are men? Men are our fathers, they are our brothers, they are our husbands, they are our sons, they are our uncles. Men, in a nutshell, men are family and friends.
Yes.
And I can also define them in another perspective as in relation to their responsibilities. So if you look at the responsibility of a father is supposed to be the head of the family. What does a head of family do? Provides for the family, supports in the emotional development of the child, and also is supposed to be a role model, a good role model,
Yes.
as the child is growing. So when it comes to men and sons, a man is supposed to, or a father is supposed to be a very good role model
Yes.
to the growing child. So when you talk about children that are being raised by mothers alone, they are missing out somehow, somewhere.
Yes.
And also as men, in case of being husbands, they are supposed to support their wives to raise up these children, especially in emotional development. So you see that it's very, very important that if we have boy children that are actually don't have this kind of masculinity, then there's a low self-esteem.
Yes.
They get this low self-esteem. They don't feel like, you know, we are men enough.
Yes.
And that somehow affects them, mentally affects them. They may not even be able to fit in
Into society quite well. Yes.
So the parenting bit somehow misses somewhere.
Because it's you what you've grown up saying is
Yeah.
repetitive. Like you do what it is that you've seen as you're growing up.
Yeah, true.
Before we continue, I'm going to have to cut you a little bit short on that. We're going to come back and talk more about that. We have to go for a quick break. When we come back, we shall continue with our conversation. Welcome back from that break. Before we went off for the break, we were talking about how a boy that has been raised from a single home may not display certain features as a boy that has been raised from both a double parent home, like a full, complete home. So as we know it. So Grace was telling us more about that. Yeah.
To continue with that, I also wanted to take you to another level, which is the puberty range.
Yes.
When we are raising our boy children, let's imagine now the child is actually a single parent, the mother is a single parent. And then these children are boys. The mother might not really have a lot of information
About yes.
how raising a boy.
Yes, yes.
Unless if somebody finds father figure into another man. But even generally, as we are trying to raise up our boy children, you realize that their counterparts, the female, are always considered as important as far as puberty rights are concerned. Why? When a girl child is going into or is in puberty, She will be informed about her menstruation periods. She will even be informed about how she should behave, the development, whatever is happening. But the boy children also go through adolescence.
Of course, yes.
Boy children have things like at certain age, there's enlargement of the testicles.
Yes, even the penile.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then at some time, they develop some slight, breasts, whatever.
Yes.
The voices start cracking. Then they get the so-called wet dreams. Then they get into all these funny things as and armpits, Then they don't know what's actually happening. But there's nobody out there who is telling them that this is what is happening.
It's going to happen.
So you'd see them somehow
lost,
somehow gambling, then trusting their peers who are actually also as ignorant as
the learning process.
Ignorance. And what do you think would be the result out of that? People get wrong information, and this is how our boy children start getting into funny behaviors,
and they take paths that they may not have taken if they were well guided.
Yeah.
And that brings me also to the issue of like we said, so much emphasis being on the female child or the girl child, which is rightfully so, but I think there has to be a balance, because even a boy is a child and they also need to get a certain direction. And if they are misdirected, you find that when they grow older, it becomes a repetitive cycle. We see girls when they get married, you are groomed right from childhood. You have dolls that you play with. My daughters, like you said, you have all boys. I have all girls. I'm the opposite of you. So now a girl grows up and I see them play with their dolls. They will pretend that they're nursing, bottle feeding. So right from childhood, they are given that and they see it, and it's because I think some of the things are not because you sit them down and teach them, but because a mother is the nurturer, they see what it is that you do and try to replicate, because that's how children learn. They learn from what we do. So now a boy who doesn't have a male figure to learn from is learning mostly how to be a homemaker because they're seeing how the mom does it. And then when they grow up, the woman is doing their role as a woman in the home. But you find that the man is still, because they went out there, it's like the law of the jungle. Go out there, learn on your own, do what it is. They've gambled, like you said. They're trying this, trying that, misdirected. That is where now it's now becoming a marital issue. The woman is brought up saying, told me this. They even sit them down. Who tells the boy how to be a good husband? Who tells the boy how to be a good man in a workplace?
Yes.
So that is a very important thing.
True, Manuela, that is a very very important point. Who teaches our boys what to do, what to be? You should remember that a relationship makes two.
Yes.
So if I'm trying to groom this party, how about the other one?
Yes.
And what is going to happen at the end of the day? Because if I don't know what to do, there is a likelihood of coming up of conflicts within the home and pointing fingers at each and everyone.
Yes.
So it's very important that two people, in order to make a relationship,
there's a balance.
There should be a balance. If these things do not happen, these are the things that actually cause emotional, conflicts within the family, within the home. And then you have somebody
diverting to go get someone else.
Exactly.
Because extramarital affairs.
Yes.
Even depression and mental issues start to kick in there because the pressures. This woman doesn't seem to be appreciative enough, yet you also do not know how to do because you did not have a good role model growing up.
Exactly. So another thing with boys, if I'm to go back to culture, because parenting is informed by culture.
Yes.
Basing on the roles as far as tradition is concerned. Men are not supposed to do this. Men are not supposed to be in the kitchen. Men are not supposed to help in the housework. Men, and then you realize that men are seated down there.
The alpha male.
Yeah, that is the alpha male. I am seated down there. Sometime back, I remember a certain friend of mine was saying, I can't imagine, both of us go to work.
Yes.
You come back late, power has gone, the children have to bathe.
Yeah.
You
but
have
he
to
comes
prepare,
back and sits
and then reads the newspaper.
and wait. It's for you. Is also from work.
So this woman also feels exploited. Mentally, this woman is also affected.
Yes.
So realize that the raising of a boy child also brings about mental issues with even with the spouse.
Yes, of course.
Just because raising up a child has not really been given, a boy child has not really been given enough attention. Yeah, that one also counts. And when it also comes to, you talked about information. Information, like we mentioned about puberty.
Yes.
There are also other information that should be given to boys. One time my boy was in P6 and he told me, Mommy, I think at our school they like girls better than boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said, why? Yeah, I said, you should go and come and talk to our rector. They like girls better than us. And I said, why? And then he told me, you know what? They collect all the girls from our class and take them somewhere and talk to them.
And they never do the same for
To
the boys.
girls. So
Wow.
who gives them the information? That thing brings about an imbalance. Another thing, like we have just mentioned about when it comes to their puberty. When my boy went to P7 in a certain school in Kampala, so they have a boarding school in P7. So I took him there. But he told me, Mommy, I have an issue. When I go to, in the morning, very early in the morning at around 6, they have those lessons.
Yes.
So from their hostel, they go to class. And the teacher calls me, come and clean the blackboards. And when I go to clean, my penis becomes big. And I don't want to change back to the class because children, what is happening? Children are going to look at me.
Yes.
You understand?
He's lost, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. I talked to the dad. The dad was laughing about it. And I said, you know what? I think let's go and see a doctor.
Yes.
So we went to, there's a young doctor in a certain Kampala family hospital.
Yes.
Family clinic, and I said, let's go and talk. There was a young doctor, was very good. Explained everything to the boy. And I said, what do I do if this happens? He said, just at the back of your mind, think about something else.
Yes.
This is something that should be taught to the boys.
Yes.
Nobody does that. Even fathers
That's
are not
very
doing
true.
that.
Yeah.
Why aren't fathers doing that? Because we are also not
Not,
trained.
yes, they found out on them.
Yeah, because parenting is something that you learn from your parents. It goes on generation to generation. So if you take on something that is wrong, that's what you're going to teach your child. So all those kind of things, as a boy is growing up, he's disturbed mentally because he doesn't know what.
And they even have that, the Anyangamba, who told me that he will sort himself out.
So-
I mean, that's what I call the law of the jungle, as in you devour, you just, whatever it is you find, that is what it is. Yeah, without any direction. Oh wow, that is very, very, very important that boys are given a certain kind of direction.
Yes.
Because in order to nurture strong men, amazing men, leaders of this nation, good heads of families, they have to, it starts from the foundation, how they are being brought up as boys. And it is very imperative to note that the same attention that you give to a girl should be given to the boy, otherwise there will be an imbalance.
True.
There will be an imbalance, and it will become,
A vicious cycle.
yes,
Because of
the woman will not be as satisfied with this man that was brought up a certain way and lacked certain things. So we are concluding right now. What do you want to conclude with before we wrap up?
Thank you, Emanuela. I think this is a very important topic, and it's something that I really love. I have passion at, and I think it's very important for the world out there to know how important a man is in our society.
Yes.
So, and how do we get better man as opposed to the perception of today?
Where you're pointing finger.
Yes. Raise up a boy child appropriately, because a boy child is also a child.
Yes. very important.
Yeah, it's very important. So that's how I can advise them.
Thank you so much, Grace. I don't think we can stress or I can echo this out well enough, but it is something that is very important. And for them to be as they were designed to be by God, to be the heads, I mean, we need to do our part. We need to do our part. It is something that is God-given to raise and nurture a child, right? So we need to do our part to equally give boys the same kind of attention, the same kind of nurturing and upbringing like we do their counterparts. So this is Emanuela as usual on Select Health. Thank you for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to my producer, director and everything, Shidafta. Thank you so much for always doing a good job. God bless you and stay safe.